What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're taking a look at the top 5 best SMGs you guys should be using here in Warzone 2. These are going to be the best setups for the best SMGs in the game. So if you guys haven't enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. For our first game today, we're going to be taking a look at the MX9. This is a really great SMG here in Warzone 2, but our first attachment on this thing is going to be the X10RR-40. This is going to give us sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. Overall, a really great silencer to be able to have on this gun. The tune on this thing here is going to be a plus 0.45 there for that recoil smoothness, just a little bit extra of that, and a plus 0.35 on the bottom, just to increase our bullet velocity ever so slightly. After that, moving up to the next attachment, we're going to go for the barrel. That's going to be the 16.5 BRUEN S901. This is going to give you that increase in damage range, hipfire accuracy, movement speed, and bullet velocity. It can help make this gun more effective even at those closer-ish ranges. Definitely just going to make this gun hit a lot harder, so I would recommend for you guys to run this. The tune on this thing here is going to be all the way maxed out there for that recoil steadiness and all the way maxed out there for that damage range, just because we really want to make this gun super effective, and this is what's going to be able to, help do that and make that damage profile just really solid and have you taking out people incredibly fast. After that, we're going to go down here to the ammunition, which is not something I feel like we normally do a lot of here in Warzone 2, but we're going to throw in the 9mm sub AP rounds. This is going to give us that bullet penetration and a vehicle damage. You guys can actually tune these things to be really effective when you actually, go through and mess with them. The tune on this thing here is going to be to max out that damage range, just to give us more damage range and increase that bullet velocity, just to make it even better. You guys could run this like, as a straight secondary, or even kind of as like sniper support if you really want to, but this is definitely a really solid thing to be able to run. Kind of a bit of a hidden tip and trick that you guys can run, like, some rounds and increase the damage range on it. It's a little bit cool like that. After that, we got to go down to the magazine. We're going to run the 32 round mag here, just to increase that magazine ammo capacity. Always like running something that's going to increase your magazine ammo capacity, just because, you're sometimes putting a lot of shots into people in Warzone 2. It's kind of like there's like no in between. So you take someone out in like 2 shots and they just die instantly, or you're wasting an entire magazine on somebody, or it feels like the opposite too. You put a whole mag into someone, then they just take you out in 2 shots. It's kind of weird how that works, but pretty much we have to run, something just to kind of give us a little bit more ammo so we can, take on more people at once. For our last attachment here, we're actually going to throw in the BRUEN Q900 grip. This is going to give us that spray to fire speed, aim down sight speed. Overall, a really solid grip to be able to run on this gun. Definitely recommend it. Just got to speed this gun up here a little bit. And the tune on this thing here is going to be maxed out for the ADS speed and maxed out for sprint to fire speed, just because we've been kind of really messing with this gun here in terms of its range, its recoil control, and all that sort of stuff. We definitely need to fully max out as much of, our mobility as possible here for this. So this is my full build here for the MX9. Let's hop into the firing range and show you guys how good it actually is. So we use this here. Look at that, very low recoil. Yeah, I mean, very low recoil. Super easy to be able to use. So you guys are gonna be able to dominate Warzone 2. So now let's actually move on to our next SMG. Our next SMG here is gonna be the VASNEV 9K, and this is gonna be a really solid one to be able to run. So let's actually hop into it. First thing on this is gonna be the X10RR-40. Of course, we ran this on the MX9, but sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. Overall, a really great silencer to be able to run. It's just very effective as opposed to running something like a compensator or something else like that. I would definitely recommend for you guys to go for this. The tune on this thing here is going to be a plus 0.45 there for that increase in recoil smoothness, and a plus 0.35 there on the bottom for that increase, and more or less a little bit of that bullet velocity. When you guys don't max out your tunes and everything, it can be very beneficial. Some guns you can still max them out and it's entirely okay, but for a lot of the guns here in Modern Warfare 2/Warzone 2, you really shouldn't be maxing out your tunes, because it can be a little bit more detrimental than it can be actually good. After that, we're going to go down here to the magazine section. We're actually going to throw in the 45 round mag. The 45 round mag is very good to be able to run on this gun. I mean, 30 rounds just feels like it's not enough, especially for the VASNEV 9K. If you're trying to take, 2 people out plus, you probably need that 45 rounds. So I definitely recommend for you guys to go ahead and run this. After that, we're going to go up to the very top here for that laser. We're going to run the FSS OLE-V laser. This is going to give you that increase in ADS speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed. If you guys are planning on camping in the corner, this is probably not the best thing for you to be able to run, considering your laser will be shown. But definitely recommend this because it's got a lot of great benefits. It'll make your gun more agile, more mobile, and also stabilize it out. But of course, the laser will be visible, so you guys just kind of have to, deal with that for yourselves and figure out if you like that or not. You guys can always swap it out for something like another laser. Now let's move on to our next attachment. Next attachment here is going to be the MARKEEV R7 stock for that crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and of course aim down sight speed. This is just such a great stock to be able to run this gun to make it more agile. I just really like it, but now let's get into the tune here for it. The tune on this thing here is going to be a minus 1.29 there on that left side and a minus 1.24 on the bottom, just kind of giving us a little bit more ADS speed, a little bit more aim walking speed. We definitely need that here for the VASNEV 9K, and this also is not going to be a gun that's going to kick too much, so we can definitely kind of go more in this area. Down below though, for the rear grip section, we're going to go through on the Demo-X2 grip just to increase that recoil control a little bit. We just got to stabilize this gun out, you know what I'm saying? Just got to be able to control it a little bit, but that's really about it for that. And then the tune on this thing here is going to be more so for ADS speed with a negative 0.61 there, and then a negative 0.10 on the bottom. So this is how we have this tune. This is my full build here for this. Now let's actually hop into the firing range and show you guys how effective it can be. So use that. I mean, look at that absolute laser beam. Closer to medium-ish range, you guys are going to be able to control that recoil very easily. I mean, it's not designed for taking people out like super far ranges, but overall, very easy to be able to use. Also, this is a tracer blueprint for you guys that are wondering, but now let's actually move on to our next gun. For our next gun, we're going to take a look here at the FENNEC 45. This is an incredible SMG to be able to run, pretty much the fastest TTK in the game. So let's get into it. First thing, of course, X10RR40. You guys know the drill with this silencer. I've pretty much ran it on a couple of our guns already, so I'm not going to explain this one. The tune on this thing here is going to be a plus 0.45 there and a plus 0.35 there on the bottom. Pretty similar tune to what we've ran otherwise. This gun just needs a little bit more stabilization, and that's really about it. As far as what's next, we're going to go for the laser section. That's going to be the VLK Laser 7MW. Increase that ADS speed, aiming stability, and of course sprint to fire speed. Really great stuff here, and I'd highly recommend you guys actually run this. Of course, the laser is visible upon ADS. So you guys have to understand, if you're ADSing in corner, sitting there camping, you know, playing like a sentinel is what they call it, this is not probably the attachment for you. But otherwise, for everybody else that wants to play and not camp their balls off, this is probably really good for you. Next up is going to be a underbarrel, and that's going to be the FSS SHARKFIN 90. That's going to give us that aiming idle stability. You don't got to stabilize this gun out too much, but just enough. And of course, you get no cons with it, so it's really a solid underbarrel to be able to run. The tune on this is going to be a negative 0.49 and then a plus 1.7 there on the bottom. Like I said, you don't want to ever max out a lot of these tunes. You can for some of them, but for a large majority, you do not want to max them out. After that, down to the magazine, we're going to go throw on the FENNEC 45 round mag, or the FENNEC mag 45, whatever you want to call it. But pretty much it's a 45 round mag, brings you up from that base 30 to 45, which is really solid. And you just definitely need it because, I mean, this is one of the highest fire rate SMGs, fastest TTK SMGs. So if you blow through in your entire magazine, you get caught in that oh so deadly reload. Because there's no way you can reload cancel in this game. They took that out. God forbid you can reload cancel. But anyways, they took that out, so you need extra rounds in your magazine for sure. You probably run this regardless if you could reload cancel, but you guys get the point. You definitely need it. And for our last attachment here, we're running the FTAC Locktite stock, crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and of course aim down sight speed. Real great stuff here to make this gun more agile, more mobile. And of course, you got that beautiful little gun screen you guys can probably see right there. But definitely got to be able to, you know, move around with this gun and of course have it be stable. But this is my full build here for it. Now let's actually hop into the firing range. We'll show you guys how effective it actually is. Look at that cool gun screen. That's one I just unlocked via a bundle. But super easy to be able to use. Of course, medium-ish range is going to bounce a little bit, but you're pretty much using this just for this close range here when you get in those like building situations. And otherwise, I mean, you guys will be perfectly fine taken care of. And also, this is the LA Thieves CDL camo, which I know a lot of you guys are going to be wondering about. CDL camos are pretty cool in this game. For our next gun, we're going to be taking a look here at the mini back, and this is going to be more of a great sniper support gun. So let's actually hop into this build. First thing on, you run the FTAC Castle Comp. This can help us out that horizontal and vertical recoil control. Really great stuff here to be able to run on this gun. I'd highly recommend for you guys to actually run the FTAC Castle Comp if you're trying to make this more of a sniper sport, because that's what this build is geared towards too. The tune on this thing here is going to be maxed out for recoil stabilization up on the very top there. We're leaving this exactly as is on the bottom. Don't gotta mess with that. So the tuning is pretty simple for this one. The barrel section is going to be the back -9 279mm barrel. This is going to give you that increase in damage range, hipfire accuracy, and of course bullet velocity. It's the only barrel in here, so you really can't mess it up. You can't choose nothing else on accident. The tune on this thing here is going to be maxed out for recoil steadiness and maxed out once again for damage range. This is one of the few guns where you can max out some of these sliders and be perfectly okay. So definitely, you know, understand that. After that, we're gonna go here to the optics section, throwing on the CRONEN Mini Pro. This is gonna just be a beautiful blue dot, red dot sight. Pretty much, if you guys want to be able to get this, you have to level up the Expedite shotgun to level 7. Very easy to be able to do in like some multiplayer, so I'd recommend for you guys to go do that. Otherwise, any of the other red dots can work. This is just going to be, in my opinion, the clearest one out there, and it's going to give you the contrast of a blue dot on like pretty much, you know, a bunch of, you know, rocks and everything else like that on Al Mazrah. So the tune for this thing here is going to be a negative 1.16 there on that left side, and negative 2.25 here on the right, or on the bottom, I should say. Pretty much for those of you guys that understand that close to far, when you guys are actually doing this, the far, when you actually select that, that pushes the sight away from you, aka, and it makes it so it's visually less close to you. Then when you put it close, that actually brings it closer towards your face, which cannot be a very good thing for a large majority of these optics. You almost get a little bit less visual recoil when you push it farther away, which is definitely something this game is full of. So we pretty much want to do that more often than not. Just want to explain that one there real quick for us. But then also for our next attachment, we have the stock, which is going to be the OTREZAT stock. In walking speed, sprint speed, just got a speed that's gone up here a little bit. You lose a tad bit of aiming stability, but we've got plenty of that here pretty much already. But the tune on this thing here is going to be maxed out for ADS speed, and we've also maxed out the aiming idle stability. So we're kind of combating some of the cons we would have gotten with this attachment, and while still making it very, very effective. The last attachment on here is going to be the TRUE-TAC grip, that sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. This is just such a solid rear grip on this gun. I really enjoy running it. And then the tune on the rear grip here is going to be a plus 0.65 there on the left side or up top, and then a plus 0.32 here on the bottom. So this is my full tuning here for this thing. This is my full build here for the mini back. Now let's actually hop into that firing range. I'll show you guys here. It's really solid. So that's what I was talking about with the sight being a little pushed farther away as opposed to up close. But here we go. So super easy. Look at that. Virtually no recoil. Great for medium-ish range. You could probably been firing a little bit at long range, though that's going to be a little bit more difficult. Not going to lie. That's actually quite difficult. But the closer to medium-ish ranges when you're using that for sniper support, overall super effective, fantastic to be able to use. The mini back is a great option. And for our last gun here today, we're taking a look at the LACHMANN-SUB. So let's actually hop into this. This is probably one of the top tier meta SMGs besides the FENNEC 45. First attachment, X10RR-40. Of course, it's kind of like a reoccurring theme here for these SMGs to be able to run that. The tune on this thing here is going to be a plus 0.45 and a plus 0.35 there on the bottom, similar to what we've ran on all the other ones. The barrel section is going to be the FTAC-M-SUB 12, bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and hipfire accuracy. This is just such an incredible barrel. It's going to make you so much more effective, and it's going to really help out with that damage drop off, and just so you can actually take people out faster, because it can be quite noticeable in this game as a comparison to some previous titles where like you really do notice the damage drop off. Also, the tune on this thing here is going to be a plus 0.21 there on that top, and of course a plus 0.27 on the bottom. Just got to tune this for a little more damage range and a little bit more recoil steadiness, as we're not too concerned with the aim walking speed, specifically on the barrel. Next up, the laser section, the VLK Laser 7MW, aim down sight speed, aiming stability, sprint and fire speed, overall really good. And you, of course, cannot tune this. This is just, you know, the laser by itself, so you can't really do nothing about that. After that, we're going to go down here to the rear grip section, running the LACHMANN TCG-10 just to help out that recoil control. This gun's going to be super easy to be able to control based on these attachments. You guys are really going to love this one. The tune on this thing here is going to be a minus 0.32 on the left side and a plus 0.17 on the bottom. So I'd highly recommend for you guys to, you know, tune it specifically this way. And then for our last attachment, the 40-round magazine. We don't really need much to go. We really don't need to go for the 50-round mag. It's going to slow you down a little bit too much, in my opinion. I just believe the 40-round mag is kind of like the way to go. This is one of those things where people would much rather run a bit of a lighter magazine as opposed to the extra 10 rounds, because it does make a pretty big difference. Like, you will feel like extra clunky. That's not what you want to be able to feel when running an SMG, considering this is supposed to be your gun you're able to move around with a little bit easier. And of course, because this is a magazine, you cannot tune this, but this is my full build here for the LACHMANN-SUB. Now let's actually finish off by showing you guys the firing range here of how easy it is to be able to use. So look at that, no recoil, virtually no recoil, super easy. I mean, great TTK as well, but look at that, you're going to take people out so fast. That close range sights are very easy to be able to use. Kicks up just a little bit to the center, so you should be getting some extra headshots. But this has been my full top 5. You guys enjoyed today's video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Just run a show cap, don't be Randy, and I'm out. Peace.